The forest was quiet except for insects making soft sounds and leaves moving gently in the night wind. Deep inside the Jamaican jungle, a young African man named Kojo pressed a snake against a tall tree. His heart was beating fast. Sweat ran down his face, but he did not move at all. Behind him, slave hunters walked with dogs and lanterns. They shouted his name and promised that they would catch him before sunrise. But Kojo stayed silent. He had learned how to survive in the forest. The Maroon people had taught him, and tonight he was trying to reach their hidden homes. Long ago, during the time of slavery in the Caribbean and the South America, many Africans were captured and forced to work on plantations. They cut sugarcane under hot suns and lived lives full of pain. Many felt trapped with no way out, but some refused to give up. They wanted freedom more than anything, even if freedom was dangerous. These brave people escaped at night and ran into deep forests filled with wild animals, steep cliffs, and darkness. They had no food or maps, but they walked with strong courage. These escapees became known as the Maroons or the Marons, meaning people who refused to be controlled. Inside the wide forest, the Maroons built hidden villages far away from the eyes of the slave masters. They made houses from wood and palm leaves. They planted yams, cassava, and bananas. They used special fires that made almost no smoke, so enemy would not see them. Slowly, these villages became real communities with leaders, warriors, mothers, fathers, and children. Life in the forest was difficult, but it was free, and that made every challenge worth it. Among the Maroons was a powerful woman named Nani. She was small, but she was brave and wise. Many believed she could sense danger before it happened. She trained her warriors to move quietly through the trees, to hide in the bushes, and to use the forest as their protection. She built one of the strongest Maroons camp in the Blue Mountains of Jamaica. Nani also protected African traditions. She kept the songs, drums, dance, and spiritual practice alive. While the outside world tried to erase African identity, Nani protected it like a precious stone. The Maroons were not just survival. They were very strong fighters who protected their freedom. They learned to cover their bodies with mud, to hide under leaves, and to send messages with animal sound. They built lookout posts in high trees. They attacked plantations at night, freeing enslaved people and bringing them safely through secret forest paths. Every person they rescued made their community bigger. Every attack weakened the system of slavery. After many years, the Maroons became so strong that colonial governments struggled to fight them. No matter how many soldiers were sent, the Maroons always defeated them using their deep knowledge of the land. Finally, the British and the Dutch decided to negotiate. They signed treaties with the Maroons leader. These treaties promised that the Maroons would remain free and that their land would belong to them forever. This was one of the first moments in the Caribbean history where black people gained freedom because they fought for it with their strength. The Maroon villages grew into proud forest nations. These were not just villages, they were living pieces of Africa in a new land. The Maroons kept their languages, their drumming, their carving, their herbal medicine, and their spiritual beliefs. When visitors came, they felt like they were stepping into part of West Africa. Today, the Maroon communities still live in the forest areas, still strong and proud. They protect their land and continue their traditions. They pass their stories to their children, reminding them that freedom was earned, not given. Their children grow up knowing that their ancestors were brave people. The story of the Maroons is a story of courage, strength, and freedom. It is the story of men and women who saw the cruelty of slavery and said, "We will not live like this." They walked into the forest without knowing what they would find, but they believed freedom was worth the risk. From their bravery came new communities, new tradition, and generation of free children. The Maroon showed the world that freedom cannot be taken from people who refuse to give up. Their story still inspires people today, proving that even in the darkest time, there is always those who rise, resist, and choose freedom no matter the cost.